Good morning, students. In last class, we have studied that is a species as well as the amphibians. So here amphibians are grouped under the class tetrapods. Tetra means four, poda means legs. So here we are having the tetrapods. They are belongs to the tetrapods. So here tetra means four. Poda means legs. So here will consist of four legs are presenting that are will having the four legs are presenting, and that four legs which are presenting we can call them as hind legs and forelimbs and hind limbs. They are called as the forelimbs as well as the hind limbs, and also will having five digits are presenting. And here already you have studied the characters, and examples are the toads, the frogs, the toads, and the salamanders, where we can take in place an example for the amphibians, where they are present in both water as well as land. So here they are present on land, but they for the reproduction they have to require water. So here these are presenting terrestrially, that means they are present in both land and water, so we can call them as the amphibians. So next coming to the next one, that is we can call that as the reptilias, the superclass reptilia or reptiles. So here the reptiles. What are reptiles? Means reptiles means here these are to creep, to a creeping. That means the organisms which are helpful for a creeping. So such type of organisms we can call them as the reptiles. That means a creeping organisms. That is here a creeping will shows that the organisms are having to creep. To creep means the movement is taken place with the help of a crouping or a crawling. So such type we can call as the reptilians. So here these are the first true land or true terrestrial animals. These are the first terrestrial, first true terrestrial animals. The animals. That means these are the first true, or otherwise you can use the word as a true land forms. True land forms. So we can call them as the terrestrial forms. So these are the first true land forms, where here these are not present in water, except a few some organisms if they are presenting, but they are truly a land forms. And if you see in here, these are poikilothermic organisms. These are the poikilothermic organisms. These are poikilothermic organisms means here it shows according to body temperature, according to the environment. Here the body temperature also will be changes, then such type of organisms are called as the poikilothermic organisms. That means if the changes, the temperature is changing according to the environment, so that we can call them as of the poikilothermic as well as a true terrestrial forms or animals. Next, coming to this, the skin is dry. The skin is dry, scaly. That means the skin is dry, scaly, and horny, covered by an exoskeleton, or scaly or horny, covered by covered by exoskeleton, covered by an exoskeleton, covered by an exoskeleton of epidermis, of an epidermis, of an epidermis. Thus the skin is dry, scaly, horny, covered by an exoskeleton of an epidermis of scales, or epidermal scales, epidermal scales. Next, if we say in the locomotor organs are the locomotory organs. Locomotor organs are the limbs. The locomotory organs are limbs. These are divided into forelimbs and hind limbs. These are divided into forelimbs and hind limbs. These are divided into forelimbs and hind limbs. It is divided into forelimbs and hind limbs, where here limbs will consist of a pentadactylus. Here the limbs will consist of consist of pentadactylus, pentadactylus with claws, Here it consists of, that means the digits will consist of, digit means here 5 digits are presenting. Penta means 5, dactyl means digits. So here the limbs, that is forelimbs or hind limbs, that is consisting of 5 digits are presenting, and the 5 digits will having the claws are presenting, that is sharp needle like structures are presenting. They are called as the claws. So these are the where, that is locomotor organs are the limbs, where it is divided into forelimbs and hind limbs. Hind limbs, that means the limbs will consist of the pentadactyl, that is forelimbs, and hind limbs will consist of 5 digits are presenting. At the end of these digits will having the claws are presented. Next, coming to the next one. Next, the alimentary canal is the alimentary canal opens exteriorly by the cloaca. Cloaca means it is a common passage for the semen as well as the anus, that is waste materials. So it is called as the cloacas. That is, here the alimentary canal, it consists of the anus, that means here complete digestive system is presenting, but here the reproductive organs as well as the waste materials are commonly they are open, they are excreted outside through a common opening, that is called as a cloacal apparatus, or we can call that as a cloaca. Next, if you see in the respiratory organs are the respiratory organs. The respiratory organs are the lungs. The respiratory organs are the lungs. Here cutaneous respiration is absent. The cutaneous respiration is absent. That means here respiration is taken place. The respiratory organs which are present in these organisms are the lungs, but here that is here the respiratory organs are the lungs, that is cutaneous respiration is absenting, and gills are not present at any one of the stages, and gills are not be presenting, gills are absent, at some stage of life history. So here we are having the lungs are presenting where cutaneous, that means the respiration is the skin is not be taken place. The respiration is mainly taken place by lungs only, and the gills are not be present at any one of the stages. Next, if you see in here the circulation, that means here the heart is made up of the circulatory system is closed. The heart is made up of three chambered heart, that is two auricles and one ventricle, except crocodile. Crocodile will consist of a four-chambered heart, except crocodile. Here it consists in all the rest of the reptiles will having a three-chambered heart is presenting, but in crocodiles will consist of a four-chambered the heart is presented. So that is where here having a three-chambered heart, but in all forms will having three-chambered, but except crocodile will having a four-chambered the heart is presenting. That is two auricles and one ventricle will be presenting. And here a kidney excretion is taken place by metanephric kidneys. Excretion is taken place by metanephric kidneys, and these are uricotelic organisms. That means the main excretory product which is presenting that is in the form of uric acid are presenting. So here they are called as the uricotelic organisms. And here will consist of 12 pairs of cranial nerves are presenting, except in snakes will having 10 pairs of cranial nerves are presenting. Here cranial nerves are 12 pairs, except snakes. Snakes will having 10 pairs of cranial nerves. The crane will having 10 pairs of cranial nerves. Will having 10 pairs. That means in all reptiles will having 12 pairs of cranial nerves are presenting, but except in snakes will having 10 pairs of the cranial nerves are presented. Next, here coming to the reproduction, the sexes are separated. The sexes are separated, and the sexes are separated. So here these are unisexual or dioecious organisms. Only here male and female are separately they are presenting. So we can call them as dioecious, or otherwise we can call them as unisexual and organisms, where here the males will providing the structures called as the copulatory organs. The males consist of copulatory organs. As a copulatory organs consist of a copulatory organs. The fertilization the fertilization is internal. The fertilization is an internal, where you will having here an unusable cloaca is taken place. We will having the fertilization is an internal, but here internal, why it is internal means it is consist of an unusable cloaca is presenting. Due to the presence of unusable cloaca, here the fertilization is internal, but most of them are the oviparous. These are the most of them are oviparous. These most of them are oviparous. Oviparous. That means egg laying organisms. From the egg they hatch. From the egg they are producing young ones. So here can call them as directly they produce young ones by hatching. They produce the young ones. So here these are the oviparous. Ovi means egg. The organisms which lays eggs, from the eggs they hatches and developed, and young ones are directly the young ones are producing, then we can call them as the oviparous. And here the eggs which are oviparous, the eggs of these organisms is made up of a calcium carbonate shell. Here eggs are large and heavily yolked. The eggs are large and heavily yolked, where it is surrounded by shell. So such type of eggs are called as the ecleotic eggs. So what are that now will be discussed. So next the eggs are heavily yolked. The eggs are large and heavily yolked, and it is surrounded by the shell called as cleotic eggs. So here what are cleotic eggs means? The egg is surrounded by a calcium carbonate shell, large. These are hard. A calcium carbonate shell is surrounding. So such type of eggs which are presenting, we can call them as the ecleotic eggs. So here fertilization is the sexes are separated, and the fertilization is an internal, where here it producing directly they produce young ones. But here eggs are heavily yolk, large. They are large and heavily yolk. Yolk is presenting. What is yolk means? The yellow colored material present in an egg is called as an yolk. So yolk is heavily yolked and it is surrounded by a shell. That shell is made up of a calcium carbonate. So such type of eggs are called as ecleotic eggs. We can call them as the cleotic eggs. Examples, if you see the examples of the reptilians, here we will having the lizards, snakes, crocodile and turtles. So these are the examples. That means lizards, salamanders. So here we are having the dragons. Dragons are varanus, are chameleon, dragons and draco are and also the varanus, and also we will having snakes. There are poisonous as well as non-poisonous snakes like the cobra, naza, viper. So these are results viper. So these are the various types of snakes, crocodiles and also the turtles. That means tortoise which are presenting. These are an example where we can take in place the examples of the class reptilians. Next, the coming to the next one, that is the class Aves. The class, superclass, the Aves. So here what are aves? Means the organisms which are having aves means ability to fly. The organisms which are having the ability to fly, then such type of them are called as the birds. Or aves means birds. We can having aves means the birds are ability to fly. Ability to fly in the air. So such type of organisms which having an ability to fly in the air, these are called them as the aves. So aves, these are homeothermic organisms. These are the homeothermic. These are homeothermic or warm-blooded organisms. Blooded. These are homeotherms are warm-blooded and organisms. These are and warm-blooded and organisms. That means here, according to environment, the body temperature cannot be changes. Here, the body temperature will remains a constant. So here, the body temperature will be remaining a constant only. Will not be changes according to the environment. So if body temperature is constantly they are presenting, but does not be changes according to environment, then such type of organisms are called them as the homeothermic and organisms. And here the forelimbs, these are homeotherms are warm-blooded and organisms. And also here the forelimbs which are presenting, the forelimbs are helpful for flying, and the hind limbs which are presenting, these are helpful for the bipedal locomotion. Here what are that when going to locomotion, we will discuss that one. Next here the body is short and a spindle shaped symbol. That means here why these are spindle shaped means here due to the, that means the body is reduced to the spindle shaped for flying. Understanding? Here body is short and spindle shaped for flying, for flight. And also here the exoskeleton is made up of feathers. Exoskeleton is made of the feathers. 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 That means here the entire body is covered by the exoskeleton. It is made up of feathers are presenting. But here these are body is very short but spindle shaped. Why it is a spindle shape means here the body is reduced. For what it is reduced means to flight into air, the body is reduced. So it having a spindle shaped structure body is presenting to reduce their body weight for easily flight into the air. Why they are reduced means here for the flight, to fly in the air, they have the body should be reduced. When it is reduced only, then only it is able to fly. If body is heavily presenting here, they cannot able to fly. So here will, and also the exoskeleton which is presenting that is made up of feathers. It is entire body is made up of feathers, and here the glands are also absenting. Here and except the oil glands are presenting, that means the glands are absent. The glands are absent except oil glands and present in a tail. That means oil glands are presenting, the oil glands will secrete oil, and these are present at the tail regions, but the sweat glands and sebaceous glands are absenting. So So due to the absenting here, these are dry scales are presenting. These are dry. The skin is dry and non-glandular. That means due to the absence of the glands, the skin is dry. The skin is dry and non-glandular. Non-glandular means the glands are absenting. Why means the skin is dry, except the oil glands are presenting. That oil glands also, they are present in the tail regions. So next coming to the characters. Next coming to the locomotion. Here the Aves shows a tetrapods where four limbs are modified into wings for flying, and hind limbs are modified. Hind limbs are modified as a bipedal locomotion. Modified as a bipedal locomotion. So here the Aves are tetrapods. Tetra means four legs are presenting. The first two legs are called as forelimbs. These forelimbs are modified into wings, which helpful for the flying mode. And the second last two limbs are called as the hind limbs. They are called as hind limbs. Hind limbs are modified as bipedal. Bi means two, pedal means movement. That means by two legs, here the locomotion is taken place on the terrestrial or in land. When they are present in land, with the help of two legs, the locomotion will be taken place. And also here the locomotion is two types. One is flight movement, that is a flight that is they fly into the air. It is one type of locomotion. And second one is it shows a bipedal locomotion. So here, due to the presence of a stream, that is a spindle shaped body, here the Aves are modified for the flight. And also here having a bipedal locomotion will be presented. And next, if we coming to the next one, that is the jaw is modified into the jaws. Jaws are modified into a beaks. That means the jaws are modified into a beaks where alimentary canal open exteriorly by the. That means what are the jaws? That means jaws are presenting. The upper and lower jaw is modified into a beak-like structure. Why the jaws are modified into beak-like means your body is reduced for the. That means the beaks are modified. That means jaws is modified into beak for the food. That is food taking food materials. And also here they reduce their body. So due to this, for what reducing for the flight mode, that means to easily fly into the air, here these are modified into different. So these are the modification of the birds, why they fly into the anids. One is the the spindle shaped body, and the beaks are modified into, and the jaws are modified into a beaks. And alimentary canal opens exteriorly by the cloaca. So here by the cloaca means it is a common passage for the and anus as well as the genital organs, so you can call as cloacals. Next, here when you coming to the next one, here the respiration is taken, the lungs are respiration is taken place by respiration is taken place by lungs are spongy and non-dilatal. Lungs are spongy and non-dilatal, and it is the lungs are covered by surrounded by the air sacs for the double respiration. That means it provides air sacs. It provides air sacs for a double respiration, So here the lungs are the respiratory organs. So a pair of lungs are presenting. The lungs are spongy and non-dilated. That means they are not elastic in nature. And it provides, the air sacs are providing, the air sacs are connected with the lungs for the double respiration. Next, if we coming to the next one, the heart is the four-chambered. The heart is a four-chambered heart. Such as two auricles and two ventricles, having two auricles and two ventricles, and shows double respiration, and shows a double respiration. Sorry, it shows double circulation. It shows a double circulation. So here we are having the four-chambered heart. We are having two auricles, and upper two chambers are called as auricles, and lower two chambers are called as the ventricles, and having, it shows a double circulation will be taken place. Next, the excretion is taken place by the metanephric kidneys. Excretion is taken place by metanephric kidneys. The urinary bladders are absent. Urinary bladder is absent. Urinary bladder is an absent. Urinary bladder is an absent, and shows the uricotelic organisms, and shows an uricotelic organisms, that is, will having the uric acid is an excretory waste materials. So here, to reduce their body for the flight, here the urinary bladder is not be presenting. So what is urinary bladder means? Here partially storaging of waste materials that is absenting. So here what happens to reduce their body size for the flight mode, here that body is reducing. So here the metanephric kidneys are presenting. What is the food materials are taken place? They directly eliminate the excretory waste materials in the form of uric and acid. So we can call them as an uricotelic and organisms. This will show an uricotelic and organisms. And here coming to the last one, that is if you see in here that are the reproduction, these are oviparous. It shows here the sexes are separated, but here it shows they are oviparous. Now will be discussed the one by one. So here sexes are separated. Sexes are separated, and here these are the sexes are separated. Also one image. The sexes are separated. Here the copulatory organs. The copulatory organs are absent. The fertilization is fertilization is internal. Due to unusable cloaca, and these are oviparous. These are the oviparous. These are oviparous, and these eggs are large and heavily yolked. Heavily yolked and covered by a shell called pleotic eggs. Called as the pleotic eggs. So here the sexes are separated and copulatory organs are completely absenting. The fertilization is internal. Why the internal means here having an unusable cloaca is presenting, and they are oviparous. That means egg laying organisms. From the egg they produce by hatching of eggs, they directly produce the young ones. So here can call them as oviparous, and the eggs are heavily yolked. They are large and are heavily yolked, and is made up of a shell is surrounded, that is calcium carbonate shell. So we can call them as a pleotic and eggs. So these are the characters of the Aves. Examples coming to the examples of these the crow, the parrot, pigeon, peacock, parrot, pigeon, peacock, and kiwi, etc. So there are the various organisms where they are the examples where they are taken place. So these are the examples where we can taken place the characters, and also here it shows the flight characters. That means what are the adaptive characters ability. That means adaptive characters of flight mode means they reduce their body. That means here reducing the body, and also the body is in the form of a spindle shape. The jaws are modified into a beaks, and also here it consists of the lungs are connected with air sacs for the double circulation, double respiration, and also here urinary bladders are absent. Urinary bladder is absent, so that here due to this to reduce their body weight. These are the modified characters which helpful for the flighting or flight mode of the Aves. And also here the connecting link between the reptiles and the birds we can taken place as an archaeotrips. Archaeotrips is the connecting link between the reptiles and the Aves. So these are the characters of the Aves. Next, coming to the next class, that is a class mammalians. Next one is class, the superclass mammalians. Superclass mammalians. So here what are mammalians means? Mammalians means the mammary glands, the organisms. Mammalians means the mammalians or mammalia. Mammalians. Mammals, or otherwise you can call them as the mammals. Mammals means to have the mammary glands consisting of the mammary glands. The mammary glands means the glands which secretes secretes a milk. That means the glands which secretes a milk. So such type of glands are called as the mammary glands, not knowledge glands. That means the glands which secretes milk for the feeding of their young ones. Here they feed their young ones with the mother's milk. So due to the presence of the producing of milk for their feeding of young ones, these organisms are called as the mammalians. These are called as the mammalians. Why you can call as a mammalian means it consists of mammary glands, the glands which secretes milk for the feeding of their young ones. So they are called as the mammalians. So here these are homeotherms. Homeotherms are warm-blooded organisms. Warm-blooded organisms. These are the homeotherms. They are warm-blooded organisms, where here it shows the terrestrial tetrapods, and some are secondary aquatic, and some are here it shows these are the homeotherms and warm-blooded, and most of them are terrestrial tetrapods. Tetrapods, and some are aquatic, example whale, and some are aerial, an aerial, example a bat. So here these are most of them will shows that they are terrestrial landforms, and it shows the tetrapods. That means 4 legs are presenting. So here the 4 legs are presenting. These 4 legs, first 2 legs are called as four limbs, and last 2 legs are called as hind limbs. But in humans, here what happens means these 4 limbs are modified into hands, and hind limbs are modified into legs, including humans also. Here mammalian means including humans, where in all these 4 limbs are helpful for these are locomotory organelles. These are the locomotory organelles which helpful for these are helpful for running and locomotion, that is bipedal locomotion, running. These are some are fast runners, and some are swim. These are helpful for swimming, and these are helpful for flying, the locomotion. So these will be shows that are shows here there are the most of them are terrestrial tetrapods, aquatic, and the aerial forms. Next, coming the skin is glandular. The skin is glandular, that is it consists of sweat gland, and the sebaceous glands. That means here will consist of the glands are present in glandular means consisting of a glands are presenting, that is sweat, and the sebaceous glands are presenting where providing the exoskeleton with an exoskeleton of air and provide the exoskeleton, provide an exoskeleton of hair. So the hair is mainly presenting the exoskeleton, that means in the epidermis of the skin or the skeleton here will having the hair is presenting where it is consist of glands, that is sweat, and the sebaceous glands are presented. And the body is divided into head, trunk, and the tail, that is divided into the three regions: head, the thorax, or otherwise you can call as a trunk, and the tail. So what are that? Now will be discussed the one by one. The body is divided into into head, thorax, abdomen and tail. So here it is divided into four regions: head, thorax, abdomen, and the tail regions. And here in mammals, here it consists of an external pinnas are presenting, or earlobes. In mammals, here it consists of external earlobes or pinna, or earlobes are a pinna. And also here earlobes means externally we can see in the ears are presenting where these are earlobes are ear pinnas, or tympanum is presenting. So here next coming to this the dentation is the thecodont, diphlodont, and heterodont. And alimentary canal opens exteriorly by anus. So here we'll having the thecodont, the dentation, the jaws is presenting, the jaw is consist of teeth that are thecodont, a diphlodont, and the heterodont. Thecodont means if the teeth are present within the jaw, within the jaw. So we can call them as thecodont. The theco means sockets. The teeth are presenting within a socket of the jaw, so they are called as a thecodont. Di means two. Di means two. Five means sets. Don means teeth. So here having two sets of teeth are presenting. One we can call as a milk teeth, and the second one is called as the permanent teeth. So you'll having two sets of teeth are presenting, so we can call them as a diphlodont. Di means two, five means sets, don means teeth. They're having two sets of teeth are presenting. One is the milk teeth, and second one is the permanent teeth. And heterodont, hetero means different. Hetero means different. Don means teeth. Having different teeth are presenting. One is incisors, canines, molars, and premolars. So these are the various types of teeth where incisors, canines, molars and premolars. So, will having different functions are presenting. Incisors are helpful for cutting and canines are helpful for tearing off a meat, and molars and premolars are helpful for grinding the food materials. So, there are different teeth are presenting and having a different function is performing, so that we can call them as the heterodont type of teeth. And here alimentary canal is opened by the anus only. Next, coming to the next one, here the presence of a muscular diaphragm. The presence of a muscular diaphragm where differentiated the upper thoracic region, and lower abdominal region. So, here it is differentiated upper, that means diaphragm where it is presenting in between the lungs, that means below the lungs it is presenting where it differentiate upper thoracic region and lower and abdominal region where presence of the diaphragm. And also here it shows that the presence of a mammary glands, and also here due to the presence of the mammary glands we can call them as the mammalians. Here the heart is a four-chambered heart. Heart is a four-chambered. The red blood cells RBC is oval in shape. RBC is biconcave and enucleated except the camel and ileum. In this will having the nucleus is presenting in RBC, that is rounded or a biconcave, and nucleus is absenting in the mammals, except in camels and ileum will having a nucleus is presenting. In all rest of the mammals, here their RBC is biconcave and are enucleated. E means absenting. Here the nucleus is absent is taken place, so you can call them as enucleated. And also here the sexes are separated. Here when you coming here here will having 12 pairs of the 12 pairs of the cranial nerves and 10 pairs of the spinal nerves are presenting. And also here it will consist of the kidneys. Excretion is by a kidneys. Excretion is by your kidneys, and these are ureotelic organisms. The main excretory product, that is as the urea is a main excretory waste materials which is produced by an organism. So we can call them as ureotelic organisms. And also if we coming to the sexes are separated, the sexes are separated. The sexes are separated, and here it shows a clear distinguish, that is a clear picture of a sexual dimorphism. That means by seeing the external characteristic feature we can easily identify the male and the female. And here it shows the fertilization is an internal fertilization is taken place. Here these are will show us that means these are mainly that is external. These are viviparous. Viviparous means directly they produce the young ones. The egg is small and yolkless. The egg is small and they are yolkless, so they are called as alecital eggs. A means absenting, lecital means yolk. Yolk is absenting, so there can call them as the yolkless organisms, and the egg is very smaller in conditions. And here the cleotic eggs are completely unabsent. The shell is not be presenting. Understanding? So here eggs are small and yolkless, and here the fertilization is an internal fertilization is taken place. So here the yolk is small and fertilization is the fertilization is internal. The fertilization is an internal, and here when fertilization is internal, here when the fertilized egg which is taken place, here what happens means here it takes place the placental formation. After fertilization the egg, it is when it is implanted, that means what is implanted? Implanted embryo. That means the attachment of embryo, or the attachment of embryo to the endometrium of endometrial walls of an uterus. If there is attaching, we can call them as an implanted. That is when you going into the second year, we will discuss detailedly. That is implanted an embryo. That is here it consists of the placenta. Here placenta is taken place. Here the nourishment of food will be taken place. That is, what is the placenta means? The organic connection between the mother and the mother and the fetus. The organic connection between the mother and fetus we can call as a placenta. So here placenta will provide as the food material, supplement of the food material, supplies food materials. So here placenta will be presenting where it is a connection between the mother and the fetus and provides the food materials. Not only providing food materials, here exchanging of gases, and also here exchanging of the nutrients, and also the oxygen, and also here it transport of the hormones, and also it collects the waste materials which is present, which is produced in the fetus, that is carried outside through the mother's kidneys. They are eliminated and outside of the body. So these are the various functions which are performed by the that is a placenta. And here the placenta, here in mammalians, the placenta, that means here it shows a gestation period. Here it shows the gestation period. Gestation period means here it is a period between that means period between the embryo to the fully developed young ones. The embryo, that is a period between the embryo and fully developed young ones. That means here the period of it is a period between the developing period. That means from embryo, that means from the fertilization after implantation to the deliveration of baby, what is the period is presenting. So that period we can call as a gestation period will be differ from one organism to the another organism. In humans, we know that there are 270 days, that is 9 months the gestation period will be taken place. In elephants will having 323 days. So here each organism will having different gestation period will be taken place. After that here after when it is fully developed, here the deliberation of baby, that is a parturition will be taken place. So here viviparous, these are viviparous, so that they directly produce the young ones. So such type of here reproduction will be taken place, where here the fertilization is an internal fertilization is taken place inside the female reproductive system, and the development also will be taken place in the female reproductive system only up to the deliberation of a baby. So these are the different characters where they are taken place in the mammalians. So here coming to an example, if we coming to an examples of the class mammalians, a platypus, echidna, a whale, elephant, horse, a dog, a cat, and a buffalo, a sheep, a goat, and also here there are various types etc., including humans, humans also. So these are the characteristic features. So this is about the characteristic features of that is mammalians. So in the next class we will discuss lastly, that is the difference between the chordates and non-chordates. Then it completed the topic of an kingdom Animalia. Okay, thank you.